Welcome to 99 Problems with English Ain't One. Today, Casper and I are going to explain the past perfect and the past perfect continuous.
First of all, the past perfect. The tense is used to reference an event that happened even earlier when you're talking about the past. For example, when you're talking about something that happened in the past and you want to reference an event that happened earlier than said event, use this tense. It also applies with the zero conditional. For example, if you had studied better, you would have passed the test. It is also used to indicate a series of actions because you're referencing something that happened earlier, so the series of actions is better indicated.
How to form the past perfect continuous? For an example, you have the verb you have had, which is the past of to have. Then you add the past participle of the main verb. For example, to decide, so it becomes I had decided, and then you had decided, he, she had decided, we decided, we had decided, you had decided, and they had decided. But a small note, there is also a list of irregular verbs, and you should look up the past participle because it will differ, and this site will help you with that problem.
The negative form, making the past perfect negative, is actually quite simple. You just have to insert not between had and past participle. For example, I had not studied, so you just have to insert it in between.
Asking questions. The formula for asking a question in past perfect is had, then the subject, and then the past participle. So, for example, had you read that book before you came to the school?
When not to use it, if you're, for example, telling a story, you just use the past simple. For example, I had read in school. If you use the past perfect, you're just indicating that the action you're talking about happened before something else, and it just makes it confusing.
Past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous shows that an action started in the past, continued up till another time in the past, and ended in the past. It also indicates something that ended at a point in the past, so it's done.
How to form the past perfect continuous? For example, we're using the verb to buy as an example. First of all, I or you, and after that you have to add had been. It's always had been, and then the ing form of the verb, so the present participle.
So we've came up with a little test. Here you see 8 examples, and you can stop this video and fill in the blank, and we'll discuss these solutions later. So these are the solutions. You can see that sentence 1, 2, 4, you had to use the past perfect, and then the last 4 sentences you had to use the past perfect continuous.
You had to use the past perfect in the first sentence because it indicates action that happened before what you're talking about. For example, when I arrived at the cinema, the film had started. So the film started before you arrived.
And then there's another example. When we had finished dinner, we went out. You finished dinner first, and then you went out, and that happened earlier.
And for example, in sentence 3, he had met her somewhere before, so he had met her before before now.
And then, for example, sentence 6 is the first one where you use the past perfect continuous. I had been working all day, so I didn't want to go out. The working happened earlier and is a cause of not wanting to go out. And for the rest of the solutions, that's also the case.
If you want to make some more exercises, we have a couple of links here where you can find more exercises about these tenses. Thank you for listening. This was 99 Problems in English Ain't One.